All right, so we're locked into Minnesota right now following the deadly shooting that took place after a 37-year-old woman, according to some witnesses, was there for the sole purpose of agitating ICE, allegedly tried to run an officer over. And now Tim Walz is calling for the Minnesota National Guard to stand against ICE and for other states to join in. As always, smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you love the content. Subscribe to the channel for more and share this video. That way more people see what's really going on.
Look, and I understand the uniqueness of this moment in this week, following this week, seeing what's happening in the backdrop of a show hearing in D.C. My job is to govern, and my job is to see what the facts are. This happened a couple of hours ago, and we're already pitting American against American. All of you saw a video in your eyes. We have a chaotic situation caused by the largest deployment in American history of federal agents into a community with no communication to locals. We had a chaotic situation where an individual is in their car, shot and killed. And so, look, I want to be very cautious here because Donald Trump will make this about me. He will make this about politics. This is about public safety, and this is about normalcy. To Americans who are watching this, if you're in Portland or you're in LA or you're in Chicago or you're wherever they're coming next, stand with us. Stand with us against this. This was so preventable, so unnecessary, and I don't know. I hope. Maybe we're at the McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? Do you have no decency? We have someone dead in their car for no reason whatsoever. And I don't want to be right about this, but I said if they do this, they're going to create a chaotic situation where someone innocent's going to get killed. And they did it. And now we hear more political rhetoric. Enough. Enough is enough. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't quite know how to respond to the question other than my primary responsibility as governor is the protection of the people of Minnesota. And you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful.
This guy is such a bad actor. I'm sorry. The political rhetoric is coming from Tim Walz himself. But this is what happens when you stand by sanctuary city policies that harbor illegal, violent criminals. I shared in the last video that agents in Minnesota arrested a man who was wanted for murder, hiding in plain sight in Minnesota. But now Tim Walz is going to try and shift the blame away from himself and Democrats. Because all we constantly hear is what? Democrats demonizing ICE agents. And that's exactly what can activate some lunatic who thinks it's a good idea to obstruct law enforcement officers from doing their job. Make it make sense. It's not going to end well for an individual who thinks they can sit there, block, and argue with federal agents because they feel like agents are breaking the law. But let's hear from some other representatives in Minnesota. Here's Ilhan Omar. Take a listen.
I know that this neighborhood, only 4 blocks away from this shooting, is where George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer. South Minneapolis, one of our reporters on the ground said that a lot of people there are really angry and also really worried about this tension turning into something more violent on the streets.
Yeah, I mean, people are angry about the lawlessness that they see with ICE agents. They are angry that there is no accountability. They are angry that U.S. citizens are being arrested, being shot at, and killed in this case. It's incredibly disheartening that this community that has experienced so much pain is yet once again being subjected to a pain by those that are supposed to protect and serve. This is not the way that our country's laws should be carried out, and it's incredibly dangerous for us to continue to have ICE presence when our community is really heartbroken over what has taken place. I don't want there to be further deaths. I don't want to see any more violence. I don't want our neighbors to feel like the laws in this country are not protecting them. And I do hope that the president wakes up from his delusion and understands that sending ICE into Minneapolis is really not protecting us. It is creating danger for all of us.
Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota.
Yeah, this is why you can't take these people seriously. Now, given the countless angles we've seen of the video, check out my last video and you'll be able to see multiple angles. The officers stopped their vehicle because an SUV was blocking the road they were driving down. That was clear. And so when Ilhan Omar says there was lawless behavior from ICE officers and refuses to acknowledge the role these agitators and protesters played in the situation, she has no credibility. But to them, they don't see it that way. Hence why now you hear them hinting at George Floyd and what followed after that with the riots. But now let's hear from a few eyewitnesses giving their account of what happened. Let's take a listen.
I don't know if she was a target. They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah. So
it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
That was her goal.
Do you have a read on her demographic?
I think she was a white woman. Looked like, I didn't see her when she was alive, just slumped over in the car. It looked like she had dyed short curly hair. I have a video of her in the car. But yeah, no other description.
Around 8:30 this morning, I was just getting up and I heard a bunch of commotion and whistling outside. And then I heard bang, 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 3 shots. I went to go look out the window and it looked like there was a Honda over there that crashed. And I found out it was an observer that got shot and killed. And I saw them carry it. I got a bunch of video of them carrying the body to the ambulance and stuff. So it was an observer that got shot at an ICE raid of the house next door. So.
I'm sure that was a scary thing to witness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty right-leaning, but seeing this is not what you need to do. This is not how to do it. It's not how we're supposed to do things around here in America. So.
What was how many agents and other people were here when that happened?
When it first started, there was maybe 20, but now there's hundreds. And then they got everybody out, so it's kind of crazy right now.
What's it been like seeing all of this?
Kind of scary. I lived during the riots in 2020, so it's kind of paralleling that right now. It's kind of same feeling. Hoping it doesn't, but it's getting a little rowdy.
Breaking down what exactly you saw this morning.
Basically, ladies trying to warn everyone ICE is in the neighborhood. Just letting them know, hey, and telling ICE, hey, you're destroying families, whatnot. Stop doing this. Hey, get out of here. Stop that. She reversed so traffic can go by. The pickup truck, gray pickup truck, officer ICE got out and was telling her, hey, well, didn't tell her anything, really, just telling her what, I'm going to open up your door and I'm going to get you out. And that's when the shooting happened, and the car took off, and then it sped off and crashed right into the cars.
Can you talk about the agent that was stepped in front of the car?
The way he was in the clear. There was another one at the front part of the car on the driver's side. Then there's one right there by the door that's opening, trying to get in the door. Then you have one that's in front of the car that was already coming from the side. And he was just getting clear because he already see that, hey, this person could take off, but, maybe I'll try to, intimidate you with my gun.
Eyewitnesses are always going to have their own account of how something happened. It happened so fast. Their angle, what they saw, their perspective, their biases are always going to come into play when it comes to this sort of thing. But a few things that we kind of can take away is the fact that apparently, at least allegedly, according to what these people are saying, that she was there for the purpose of agitating ICE officers, as we heard from about two of the witnesses in those clips. She was there to block federal agents using her vehicle, and she was there to alert people in the community that ICE was around. And so she was there as an agitator. She was there as someone who wanted to obstruct and try and prevent federal agents from doing their job. That seems to be what we're learning and understanding right now. But now here's the police chief of Minneapolis. Let's take a listen.
It's obviously very concerning whenever there's a shooting into a vehicle of someone who's not armed. But it also is something that is possible. At times it is justified. But it is very concerning, and it's something that most law enforcement agencies in the country train very intensely to try and minimize the risk that law enforcement officers get placed into a situation that the need for deadly force would be necessary.
And when do we get to this point where you have citizens who think it is a wise decision to not just argue with law enforcement? That's one thing. You want to have a back and forth with law enforcement officers. Go ahead, waste your time if you want to. But obstruct and block federal agents using your vehicle while they are conducting lawful raids. They were out doing a ICE operation. And what we know now, at least what's becoming a part of the story, is that there were people there. She may have likely, according to what some witnesses are saying, was one of the people who was there for the sole purpose of obstructing these agents. And then you find yourself in a position where now they feel like their life is in danger and now your life is at risk. When did it become this thing to do to argue with federal law enforcement officers when they are armed and have the law on their side? If you have a disagreement, if you want to fight them, take it up in the courtroom. Play your chances out there. Probably will lose, especially in a situation like this where you have no real ground to stand on anyway, but you're better off doing that than thinking that you're going to take the law into your own hand and just do what you want to do because you don't think it's fair. But for more, let's hear from Scott Jennings as he breaks down this situation. Take a listen.
The governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis have weighed in and effectively called this guy a murderer. They don't know that. I mean, there's obviously two points of view, and I assume there's going to be more facts that we're all going to learn in the days and weeks ahead. But it's pretty apparent this guy was standing in front of a vehicle and somebody accelerated it at him. How this shakes out in the legal system, I don't know. I do know this: the president's been a strong proponent of standing up for these ICE agents and other federal law enforcement who have been, in fact, under assault from protesters since he took office, and instructed them to simply enforce federal immigration law. And we have seen, in my opinion, a lot of irresponsible rhetoric over the year from Democratic officials like Tim Walz, who have called them Gestapo and murderers and everything else. And so there are consequences to that kind of language, and I think we're seeing that play out today.
Now, much of this could have been avoided if Tim Walz, the city police chief, the mayor, had taken a clear and consistent position from the start and let it be known that there would be zero tolerance for interfering with federal law enforcement investigation. Whether officers are detaining an individual, executing a deportation, or conducting an active investigation, the public, they got to remain out of the operation, clear of it. Any attempt to block, obstruct, or otherwise impede federal agents will result in prosecution. That needs to be the definitive message that should have been sent. However, enforcing the standard will require Democratic leadership to actually prioritize law enforcement and rule of law principles. And we've seen increasingly that's not the case. Instead of clear enforcement, we see hesitation, deflection, and missed messages. And that failure to consistently enforce the law is precisely how we arrived at this moment right here.
Brings back memories. Get out of it. Hey, let the vehicle move.
You guys are breaking families, man. You can't be doing that shit.
I brought the information to you and shared my thoughts. Now let me hear from you. What do you guys think about the situation? Drop your comments down below. As always, smash that thumbs up. Let me know you love the video. Subscribe to the channel for more and share this video. That way more people see what's really going on. Until next time.